In some of my recent videos, we talked about fighting price objections, and I really wanted to get into details on this because most of us as salespeople constantly hear it's too expensive. So because that's the leading price objection, I want to spend some quality time on that. We talked about the idea that you should ask some open-ended questions and some closed-ended questions too when you hear a price objection like this. One of the ones that works well for me is to simply say, right out of the gate, as soon as you hear the objection, other than price, is there anything that's holding you back from saying yes? Why is this important? Because you want to know if there are multiple objections or just a price objection. Because if you don't do that, you'll fight the price objection and there'll be another objection. So what I'm really saying is you want to know exactly what you're dealing with, so you ask the question, other than price, is there anything holding you back from saying yes? You probably will hear, no, not at all, which is great. Then you can ask this question, let me ask you, what do you like about the product? You're asking the prospect what they like about the product. They're going to give you all the reasons that typically you would be telling them to convince them of value in fighting the price objection. But isn't it a lot better to have them repeat those things to you? Then you can respond to them by simply saying, I understand where you're coming from. Everyone loves the product for the same reasons. I wish we could reduce the price. However, based on demand and popularity, I'm sorry, we can't. I hope you understand. And you can smile. And for the most part, that gets rid of them. But let's talk a little bit about how to prevent price objections before you even hear them. And we know planting the seed of value is really what works here. And here's a few suggestions that I really think that you want to be able to talk about. Actually bring up price as an objection before the client does, where you might be able to say something about the popularity of our product is so great that sometimes we have a supply shortage. The moment you say things like that, the client is thinking, my negotiating ability is not really going to be very good because the product's in high demand. So what you really need to do is to plant the seed of value before you hear the price objection. Why is that important? Because if the prospect doesn't voice the objection, it's not a real objection. And even if they do bring it up, you've taken out most of the wind out of their sails by fighting that price objection, by planting the seed of value before you hear the objection. I hope that all makes sense. If you have any comments, please do make them below. I respond to everybody. And if you have any ideas or suggestions for videos, please do let me know. Thanks for watching.